What's going on, guys? It's about 2 o'clock in the morning right now, and I'm working on some stuff, I wanted to kind of show you kind of where my head is, so check this out. Okay, so this is my test panel, and most professional detailers have something like this. If you guys don't have one, and you guys are a professional detailer, you definitely need to get one of these. This is kind of where all the new products come in, all the new techniques, anything that, the customer's car is going to be worked on. If I'm not really sure about it, this panel definitely gets the hell beaten out of it, and that's the point. If something happens here, I don't really care. Right, so I mean, I've got different sections that I've kind of been doing some stuff on. This right here is the IGL Plus coating. This is the 3-year coating. So I mean, obviously, this is the paint before I ever touched anything, and then this is the paint. It's got some spots and stuff from my handprints, but this is the paint corrected and coated. And I've got some different test dates and stuff right here that I've been messing with. So again, super excited about those results, but I wanted to show you guys something else. So this is a tool called an alkyl. And what it basically reads is from the substrate, right, whatever material it is, whether it's aluminum or fiberglass or, carbon fiber, whatever the deal is, it'll measure from the top of the paint all the way down to the bottom, right? So again, if we go here, right, there's 4 mils of material from the very top of this all the way down to the base, which should be 0, right? 0, right? So it's a general rule. So this kind of gives you a good idea on how much paint is on the vehicle, and a good way to measure that is if you measure inside of the door jamb, the paint inside the door jamb is going to be significantly thinner, because in the door jamb they only put just a real light coat of clear coat on the door jambs. They put the majority of the paint on the exterior, so you can basically divide that number, minus that number. So let's say on the paint, if you're getting 2.5, then you've got about 1.5 mils of clear coat. You can kind of just, figure out what you want to do from there. What I want to show you guys is what happens, and this is why I did this on purpose, because I'm kind of laying out, this is what the substrate looks like, and this is what this looks like, and blah, blah, blah. So I'm going to tape off a section here and mark, this is what it looks like when you blow through clear coat. So again, doing this on purpose. So you see how this is sort of corrected. Again, I don't really care about it being perfect. That's not the whole point of this. But you see how even though it's corrected, you see that distortion right there? This is the actual color of the paint, right? So right here is clear coat, so yeah, it's much more reflective than this. So this is corrected. There's not many scratches here, but it doesn't look as reflective as the clear coat. This is what it looks like when you blow through paint, when you blow through the clear coat, which is of course never what we're supposed to do. A newer vehicle that is a factory painted vehicle, typically 95 and older, anywhere from 90, 95, 97. Most modern cars by then were painted with clear coat. The whole reason was so that manufacturers could make the color thinner, because they had this really hard clear coat protecting that paint, so it was actually cheaper for manufacturers to make. And then over the years, we cherished our shiny cars, and so we wanted our cars to always look like this, right? So now that we care about it and we want to protect it, this is when coatings come in. I'll talk to you guys about that in a second. But anyways, another indication is that you actually get color inside of the pad. This is where coatings come into play, and this is going to be a YouTube video that, again, I'm working on. I'm trying to bust out as many videos as I can while things are a little bit slow. But the whole general, and this is a general, statement, but I think that it applies to most of these myths and can bust them. So think of it this way. We're trying to protect our clear coat, right? Now we care about the clear coat being flawless, so create coatings. And coatings are much less cheaper to replace as far as getting a paint job is. This is a much easier to replace. It's much cheaper. It's most cost effective and user friendly. Most people can apply it, right? So think of it this way. All the myths that you've heard about clear coat, that it doesn't scratch, that you don't have to wash your car for a year, that you never have to, this or that or whatever the deal is, all those myths that you've ever heard, if you cannot apply it to just regular clear coat, right, you have to wash your car with just clear coat. You have to protect it. You have to take care of it. It doesn't apply to coatings. So anyways, like I said, just a couple of things I wanted to show you kind of. Like I said, it's 2 o'clock in the morning. This is what I do. This is what I love. This is my identity. I'm absolutely crazy about this job. So product testing over here, showing different, paint damages over here. I'm going to mark it off. I'm going to show what bird poo can do. I'm going to show what tar can do. I'm going to basically divide this whole section of this hood up front. I'm going to show what, crow's feet can do, blah, blah, blah. If I can try to mimic it. But basically, this is all going to be paint damages that cannot be fixed, right? Can't fix clear coat, blow through with a polisher. This is all repaint stuff. And then here's all product testing and stuff like that. But this is a really good test hood, and this is a really cool educational tool that I'm going to build over the years. So anyways, I'm out of my mind. But again, I love this, so hopefully you guys do too. Okay, so one last thing before I go for the night. So obviously, like I said, this is kind of what I'm doing, where, this is the substrate and this is the measurement. Obviously, it's 0. There's no primer, paint, or clear on there, obviously. This is clear coat blow through, and this is measured right here. This is 2.5, and that kind of tells me that there is the thickness between, the primer and the color, because there's still color here, is about 2.5, kind of giving me a rough guess that 3.5 to 4, that's kind of the range that I'm getting. That's about how much clear coat that I have, and this is the clear coat corrected, no coating or anything like that on there. Is it perfect? No, this is a test hood, obviously. And then this is the fully, I really tried to correct this, and I got about 3.5 here. So that kind of tells me that you can, with 0.5 mils, I can kind of correct this, right? I can turn this. All paint is most certainly not the same. Softer paints obviously are going to remove a lot more paint to get this kind of correction. Every paint is different, but at least for this hood and at least for these principles and stuff like that, like it applies. Now, what I wanted to show you with my chocolate drink here. So let's say that this is, mud, contaminants, right, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to mess up my floor, but this whole garage is going to get cleaned here soon. So anyways, without this being corrected, right, that's kind of what, contaminants or dirt or whatever would look on your paint, right? It sticks, doesn't really go anywhere, blah, 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 right? Well, with a coating, see how it kind of groups up and then tries to get off the surface? Now, I'm not cheating. This hood's not slanted or anything like that, nothing like that. Like, this is level. This is how it would look like if your car was parked and stuff like that. How doesn't want to stick to this paint. You've seen a bunch of videos, online showing this kind of stuff, and see how this stuff, not only does it stick to it, but the paint, kind of absorbs it. And why is that? It's because clear coat is much more porous, right? So it's got these uneven valleys of pores, right? And all of that, all those contaminants and debris and, mud, stuff like that can stick to the paint because it's got somewhere to go, and then it dries, right? Whereas with a coating, it doesn't. So creating a more hydrophobic surface, a more protective layer that's more, permanent than like wax would be. It's not permanent, but it is more durable, more permanent. But again, my rule applies. If it cannot be true for just unprotected clear coat, it cannot be true for coatings, right? Coating is just like a better, more durable, cheaper kind of version of clear coat, but it is not laser proof. It is not scratch proof. It is not any of these myths that you've heard. You definitely still need to wash your car. You still need to properly maintain it. And if you were to take a towel that had, like this, if you were to take this towel that's got stuff all stuck in it and you were to wipe your, car off and it had a coating on there, you'd most certainly mar the hell out of your paint. So anyways, fun little test.